Hey guys, this is Mike from B-Tech Reviews here, and today we take a look at the Google Pixel 4a versus the TCL 10 Pro. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to take a look at the Google Pixel 4a versus the TCL 10 Pro, or side-by-side comparison, whatever you guys want to call it. So I don't normally do these videos just because, you know, it's speculation and on day-to-day use on specific devices, right? But because I have both these videos, again, shout out to TCL for sending me the TCL 10 Pro a while back, and I did pay out of pocket for the Google Pixel 4a, which I will be posting links below on both of these devices just so that you guys can check that out. But very similar spec'd out phones for the price range. And I wouldn't call these budget or, you know, smartphone, or how do you say it, flagship killers is what other YouTubers will say. But these are definitely phones that you might want to look at if you're not really seeking to spend that flagship level money. Okay, so flagship level money I'm talking about is $1,000 and up, right? So Google Pixel 4 just came out, currently sitting at $349 plus tax. So it comes with 128 gigabytes of internal memory, 6 gigs of RAM, and an octa-core Snapdragon 730G processor. Right now, the TCL 10 Pro, again, a little bit of a bigger screen, as you can see here. It's a 6.47 inch versus the 5.8 inch on here. Again, has an octa-core processor, has a Snapdragon 675 processor. And one main thing that you'll notice differently with the TCL 10 Pro is the camera. Okay, so the camera that you can see here, we have 4 of them, while versus the Google Pixel 4a, we only have one 12 megapixel sensor. So this one has a 64 megapixel sensor, plus the different type of lenses that you have here, wide angle, close up, and your, you know, whatever you want to call it here. I can read off all the stats here, but it's a lot, guys. But again, 6 gigs of RAM to go with that. A beautiful AMOLED display, but you also have an OLED panel on this. So again, $349 versus $449. This one, of course, does have a little bit of a better build quality on it. So if you guys are looking at the TCL 10 Pro, you're looking for a little bit of a more of aluminum casing as far as the phone build. You can really tell right out of the bat that it's made with better stuff. It does have a curved display, for those of you who are not aware of that. Let's see if I can get that in the shot. I will turn both phones on right now. Does have that notch right in the middle, by the way. Let's see if I can get that to focus right there. Light is killing it, but that's all right. You can see the notch right there in the middle, and you'll notice it more when I turn the screen on. And the Pixel 4a has a notch right there on the top right. All right, guys, so specs aside, and I can go on forever about specs all day, right? Let's go ahead and get these phones started side by side. Let's see which one starts faster, and then let's see how they perform differently. All right, there we go. See which one gets to the home screen first, TCL or Google. My bet is on Google, but we'll find out. All right, looks like Google wins that one. TCL taking a little bit longer there. Again, both running Android 10. And most likely both of them will be getting Android 11 once it does come out. Of course, Android 11 will come out probably a little bit later on TCL products, just because, you know, it's not a brand owned by Google, so Google already knows what's up there. There it is. Okay, as you can see here, the TCL 10 Pro has a fingerprint display. The Google Pixel 4a does not. So you just have that fingerprint sensor in the back, which I have no problem with. I'm not really a big fan of those. So let me go ahead and get logged in here on both of them really quick. The Pixel 4a will take you right to the home screen. I've noticed that the TCL 10 Pro does take a little bit of time to start up. Again, I don't really have a lot of bloatware on the TCL 10 Pro. There's not a lot of apps that I downloaded aside from a few games. I still have yet to download games on the Google Pixel 4a, but again, you know, that will be coming in the later future when I make more videos on it. So, and the same thing with the TCL 10 Pro, as long as I have it right, guys. So okay, so really both of these are connected to Wi-Fi, so I really wanted to just kind of see how they perform as far as using the same apps, etc., like that. So I'm gonna try getting into Instagram first. Shout outs to CV Tech, because he's the one that will, how do you say, do these comparisons. So I kind of like, I'm copying him a little bit. So let's get that going. I'm gonna start Instagram up first. Let's see which one takes longer to start. Again, this is on a fresh boot, so I shouldn't have anything there. Whoa, wait, is it? Hold on. Okay, hold on. I don't know why Google is talking to me over here. Okay, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I guess I mentioned something. But here we go. On 3, 2. Okay, so as you can see there, all right, sorry about that. I had to change my accounts there. So let's go ahead and see which one kind of scrolls a little bit better here. So far, I'm seeing that the Google Pixel 4a scrolling, again, both are connected to Wi-Fi. Here is the 10 Pro. As you can see here, the Pixel 4a is moving a lot more smoothly as far as that goes. Both are pretty good, though. Can't complain. So let's take a look here. Let's go back home. All right, let's go back home. I have to. This is going to be an indicative thing, so I'm not going to do it at the same time, just because you have to swipe up on the Google Pixel 4a. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to press the home button on the 10 Pro. So there's that, right? So screen wise, if you guys can see here, both of them look pretty similar. Obviously, I have different wallpapers here. I have Pokemon over here, and I have just like one of the stock wallpapers on the 10 Pro. The 10 Pro's screen looks a lot better in my opinion, even though it's an AMOLED display. But also, this does have what's called NXT vision or Next Vision, so it kind of brightens the contrast just a little bit more than you would on something like an OLED panel for this one. But overall, Google's OLED panel looks pretty good in my opinion right now. This is with like the thing all the way up, the brightness all the way up. I have this set to half, so let's put them both at 100%, and you guys tell me which one looks better, right? Again, Google's will probably still look great, even though again, this one does not have Next Vision, this one does. So what do you guys think? You tell me. I accidentally started YouTube. I'm going to kill the app because that was the app that I'm going to start next. So let's go ahead and do that, guys, on 3, 2, 1. There you go. So probably about the same time. Again, you can see that the Pixel 4a scrolls through it like super fast. This one definitely a lot slower, and it's not because of the loading speed. Again, I'm running on the same Wi-Fi. That's just how the actual device is set up. But if you guys look at that, check this out, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys saw that. I had saw Tito Aloha Android on one of those right there. I guess he was, I don't know if he was live streaming. Let's go to subscriptions real quick, right? Give him a big shout out to you, Tito. Looks like we got AEW Dark premiering in a little bit. But anywho, guys, I would say that one goes to the Google Pixel 4a again, just because it just feels a little bit snappier. I don't know why. Again, this one's sporting the Snapdragon 675. This one has the 730G. You know, again, I don't know if there's the clockwork as far as the gigahertz on the processors are a lot higher on the Pixel 4a, but it's definitely going to be more optimized to run smoothly because it is a vanilla Android device. So I hope if you guys are wondering about that, you know, vanilla Android is always going to run faster than something with the skin. So this one has TCL skin on it, which, you know, it's not bad at all, to say the least. It does have a home button and one of these layouts where you can kind of you know, go to your recent apps, etc. Back button. I'm a huge advocate of the home buttons, by the way. I'm really not a fan of swiping up and down like this to get to, you know, your home screen, etc. like that, but it is what it is, right? I mean, for the most part. And one gripe I have about both phones, actually, hold on, actually no, just the Google Pixel 4a. I'm gonna kind of gripe on it. I'm gonna turn off the screens here, guys. Pixel 4a, as you can see here, if I can get that to focus, let me put this aside. There you go. Pixel 4a has a power button right there on top, right? You can see there it's kind of highlighted in green, right? Or kind of like a greenish teal color, right? The volume rockers that are down here, I'm so used to having the the power button right here now. So let me see if I can get that to focus, which again, it's going to be right here. And on the TCL 10 Pro, the volume rockers are actually on top instead of the power button. So I don't know if that's just me, guys, but I feel like I'm always trying to press the power button down here now. I guess I'm just used to having like a centered out power button and having the volume rockers on top now, especially with a lot of these review devices that I've been reviewing. So let's go back here. Let me get the fingerprint on this one really quick, which is relatively quick. You guys can see here. See if I can get the TCL 10 Pro opened up with my thumb there. So it's really not slow, but the thing is, you guys will notice that the fingerprint sensor eventually does fail at times on the TCL 10 Pro. Not to say that it won't get better with software updates or anything like that, but really I'm just not a fan of the in-screen fingerprint sensors on there. Okay, so another comparison I want to do is the YouTube app now. So we already did that. So let's try Twitter now. Okay, we're ready on 3, 2, 1, and you can see there that right away Twitter started up on the Pixel 4a, and I'm actually still waiting on the TCL 10 Pro, which that one was very significant, by the way. You guys can tell right away that that one took a little bit more time, and again, running a lot smoother on the Pixel 4a. And again, both of them should be running at 60 Hertz refresh rate. And again, this is $100 right now, currently more than $100 on Amazon compared to the Pixel 4a. But this one, I believe does have a $70 discount. So again, if you guys are wanting something a little more higher quality than the actual Pixel 4a, you want a bigger screen, also 6.47 inches compared to a 5.8 inch display, you might want to go for the TCL 10 Pro, just because you're going to get that bigger screen and it's going to look better when you're watching movies and videos like that. Also, not to say that the videos and movies look bad on the this specific product, which is the 4a, but you're gonna get a smaller screen, and the notch is going to be more towards the bottom over here on the top left, which over here you have it in the middle. So it's preference for a lot of people, so we kind of have to realize that it's really going to be your preference once you get it going. Let's press home. Both of them came out pretty okay, pretty strong on that. It's like that one's Watch JR. Big shout out to Watch JR Go, by the way. I don't know why I'm not getting the same feed that I should be getting on. I'm logged into the same profile here, so I think that's a little weird. That's all right though, I guess. I'm not 100% sure why. I don't want to get started. Okay, anyways, so Twitter seems to work almost the same, although obviously I can tell the difference on the Google Pixel 4a. Let's go back home now. All right, next test that I want to do is camera mode. So definitely camera is going to look a lot better on the Pixel 4a, just from experience. I've already taken a lot of pictures with the 4a, and I can tell you right off the bat that this is going to take an amazing picture of just this one item. Now, one thing that the TCL 10 Pro has over the Pixel 4a, it does have a macro lens, which I will try to kind of get like something close in detail that I can right here. I'll try to get just that top portion of the actual device right there, and we'll try to compare that, just because. Let's see if I can show that for you guys here and get to focus. There you go. So looks really good, looks very crisp on the Pixel 4a. Again, cannot complain. And going back to Twitter over here by accident, let's see if we can get a similar shot on the on that specific item with the macro lens. So we will, hold on, let's go back to auto, and I'm gonna zoom in. So basically this is going to show me, there we go, try to get close to a same shot. Whoa, why did it turn red? What was that? Okay, so let's go to the photo now. Here we go. See if I can get that to, looks a little bit more bright in the background, but again, I think that is my screen brightness. Hold on, let me change my screen brightness really quick, because it is all the way up. It's kind of killing the camera really quick. And then we will go back to that picture. Okay, so let's go back to the picture really quick. There you go. That looks a lot better, but almost similar pictures there. Let me go back to the one on the 4a. So this is the one on the TCL 10 Pro. And this is the one on the 4a. Which one looks better to you? Again, let me angle that a little bit better. You can see that there's like dust particles on the actual knife itself, and that knife was actually given to me from a YouTube fan, so thanks again. Put them side by side, which one looks better. I will try to post the picture side by side next to each other and let you guys know the difference. But for the most part, you know, what really the TCL 10 Pro has over the Google Pixel 4a is the different type of camera things going for it. So going from there, let me show you what I mean. So it does have a 10x zoom feature, which is amazing if you guys haven't used it before, which again, that goes back to that 64 megapixel camera. And I know that seems a little bit shaky there, but I'm just using that as an example there. Again, it does have a tracking mode when doing video, by the way. So what I mean by it is if you're moving, around, it actually follows the object like that you're trying to record, and it stabilizes the shot a little bit. Again, it does have 4K at 30 frames a second with the 64 megapixel sensor there. It shoots in 16:9 at 30 frames per second. These are your video modes, but mostly the Pixel 4a shoots in almost the same modes. So if I go to the Pixel 4a as well, let's go to video. All right, so I found the video mode for the Google Pixel 4a. So what you have to do is you actually have to press this little arrow button down here to change the settings. Most other devices will have like just a little settings tab that's easier to find. So that one was a little tough for me, but I remember finding it a while back. So anyways, this one does shoot at 60 frames a second in 1080p and 30 frames a second, but you can also shoot in 4K. Which of course will only shoot at 30 frames a second once you select 4K, which it would be the highest resolution to shoot in. So most people will be happy with full HD though at 30 or 60 frames a second. So that's just me. But anywho, one thing that I can attest to on the Pixel 4a opposed to the 10 Pro over here is that aside from that, because this one obviously gives you a lot more options, right? You have 4K at 30, 1080p at 30, 720, and then even gives you a 480p option. So if you're really trying to save memory on these devices, you know, it's going to give you that. It has EIS, electronic in-body stabilization, right? So does the Pixel 4a. So both these cameras pack a huge punch. Obviously, this one specifically, the 10 Pro, is going to give you a little bit more bang for your money, though. Again, because of the 4 lenses that you have, so you're going to be able to do a little bit more, like do more zooming in, but at the end of the day, the Pixel 4a's little 12 megapixel camera is going to get the job done for you guys. I mean, it's really hard to say, but if I had to pick, I would actually choose the 4a as far as the camera goes. Although TCL, this is a phone that just came out as well. This was just one of their first devices that they debuted recently, and I have to say I am super impressed on what they did with this device, especially along with the TCL 10L also, which is another phone. But for the most part, if this is their first attempt at something that they want to continue to put out, I'm looking forward to the 10 Pro 2 or the next variant of this device, and I'm hoping that TCL will actually bring out phones that are a little bit smaller in the hand, because not everyone wants a huge screen like this. Not to say that the screen size is bad or anything like that, but personally, my preference is to have a smaller screen, like the Pixel 4a. So like, check that out. Like, I can literally put this device inside the 10 Pro, and it's just gonna just sit there. You know what I mean? This one's definitely a lot lighter, right? This one, of course, better build quality, curved edge, curved display, etc. like that. Fast charging on both of them. USB Type-C, just a lot of things that make these devices very similar, but also very different at the same time. NFC on both of them, I believe. Android 10, like I said. Octa-core processors, and just a lot of good things about these devices that really you're not going to see in the price range from other companies. You know what I mean? It's crazy. $349 plus tax, you get 128 gigs of internal storage. Same thing here, 128 gigabytes of internal storage for $449. This one does have expandable memory though, so you can get a micro SD card slot and throw it in if you want to add another 64 to 128 gigs, which will double up your memory as far as video and pictures. Unfortunately, you will not get that with the Google Pixel 4a, so you are going to get a little bit of differences there with both of these devices. Now the pure Google enthusiast will want to go for the Pixel 4a. Personally, I think both devices are great, guys, and I'm not really trying to knock one or the other. I can show you guys the Geekbench scores right before we end this video, just to kind of show you the difference on like which one had the better scores. So let me go to my history here, history on this device. And we'll start with the with the 10 Pro first. So as you can see here, the 10 Pro had a single core score of 507 and a multi-core score of 1495. Now it was about the same. I ran 2 tests. That was August 22nd. This one was May 8th. Again, 500, 1593, which Geekbench just computes how the device actually performs. I ran 2 tests on the Pixel 4a, which the screen is looking beautiful here to me. Again, this one scored a 548 and on the single core and a 1625 on the multi-core score, and then this one was 553 on the single core and 1643 on that specific score. So this one benches just slightly higher, which again, the numbers on those are the higher it is, the better, right? But at the end of the day, really day-to-day usage is what's going to count. A lot of what's important to some people is battery life. This one has under a 4,000 milliamp battery. I believe it's only about 3,100 milliamp batteries. Correct me if I'm wrong there in the comments, guys. And this one has over a 4,000 milliamp battery. So again, you're getting a lot of different things, but again, you're getting somewhere close to the same price point on both of these devices. So it's just really hard for me. It's really hard to compare or pick sides here, because I would, if it were up to me, I would actually buy both these phones, right? Which I did pay out of pocket for this. Again, huge shout out to TCL for sending me the 10 Pro though, because this is crazy what they've done with this device. The build quality, the look, how it feels in the hand, the picture quality, the video quality as well. But anywho, guys, this was just a quick comparison video of both phones. Let me know if you guys like the comparison. Let me know if you guys want to trash it. Go ahead and hit those DMs in the comments down below. If you guys like my videos, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell also, guys, because that notification bell will help get my videos more views, and it'll help get it out there. And again, please subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed. So again, guys, Mike from BTech signing off. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.